Welcome to the materials handling and recycling session regarding Taiwan. My name is Tony Agarwal. I'm from Kinetic Cubed. We deliver the TAS support to Invest Northern Ireland in the Northeast Asian markets. I'd like to speak specifically about Taiwan this morning to tell you about some of the exciting opportunities in the material and handling sector. Taiwan is a country which is just with a population of just over a third of the UK. It's an island economy near China. This is one of the best performing economies in North Asia, been performing very well, and its historical roots for economic growth have been in the field of semiconductors. It is a giant in semiconductor technology. As a result, the Taiwanese economy is expected to grow in the forthcoming future, next 3 to 5 years. That has a major impact on the rest of the economy because there is a major growth in the construction sector, which is driving that growth in aggregates and other areas. And of course, as the country continues to be rebuilt, it's a constant recycle of rebirth. The municipal waste recycling sector is very developed, with a strong recycling rate of over 50%. Remember, this is an island community, so that they need to use as much as they can, otherwise they have to import, and given it's an island, there's very little scope for for disposing of waste in landfill. So as a result, the Taiwanese government have adopted a circular economy system approach towards recycling. They have a strategy to try and reuse whatever they can. It is still very much experimental, and new policies are coming into force recently. Something as simple as recycling party tableware, for example, has been enacted, but that philosophy is being spread to many other sectors of the waste industry. So this is why it's very, very important. Now, I mentioned the economy is growing, and because of that, there is this big demand for on government on recycling. So that's impacting upon policies and regulations. Because Taiwan is an industrial nation, not having many resources, the old model of taking materials and disposing of them just doesn't work, as I said. So the circular economy is the way that the government has been going, and indeed the Taiwanese Environmental Protection Agency has actually embraced that policy fully. Some waste leaders in Taiwan see recycling as being the first step in the supply for a manufacturing environment, instead of dumping ground for materials with little or no value. And of course, this is having an impact on the demand for equipment to recycle, which is where the materials handling sector is important. So if we look at the actual exports of material recycling equipment to Taiwan, we've only looked at conveyors, crushers and screeners. You can see the numbers there. These numbers are a little bit old, but it's still, the numbers won't have changed a great deal since. You can see that conveyors are a major part of this, we're accounting for the bulk of the market. Crushers, followed by screeners, are a much smaller part. So crushers account for about 10% of what the conveyors market, and screeners are very, very small in number. In terms of which countries are supplying equipment to Taiwan, you can see that Japan dominates, followed by the Netherlands, and then China is there as well in the top 3, although it's a long way off Japan. And then as you go down that curve, you can see the UK is really not a player at all. Now, I wouldn't be disheartened by that. What I see from that chart is that there's an opportunity there. So we know that non-Irish companies in material handling equipment are very well recognised in Japan, and given that Japan is such a dominant force in Taiwan, it's more than likely Northern Ireland could make a big impact in this sector in Taiwan, and could definitely see a major uplift in that very modest share of sales on that graph. Now, it's the reality that the Taiwanese market is relatively new to the UK markets. Often when we speak of Asia, we think of Japan, China, but very few of us ever think of Taiwan. So there is very much a real opportunity which might account for why that percentage of UK exports is so small. And that would be small across all sectors, all our exports, not just materials handling. So because machinery equipment is understood in Taiwan and there is very little local manufacture, the opportunity for the UK to grab a greater share of this is quite high. So how do you access this market? Well, it's very much an open market. Think of Hong Kong. It's very easy to do business in. The government is actively engaging with the Western world. It encourages and supports foreign partnerships. There are a number of SMEs. They probably do not have the skills that non-Irish materials handling firms will have. So the opportunity is going to be to work with them as partners, probably as distributors in some cases in terms of some sort of a local added value beyond distribution. For example, maybe adapting your equipment to the local market conditions. And some of those who've got their own sorts of products and manufacturing capabilities would be open to those sorts of discussions. So how do you get into this market? It's going to be through, as I say, partnership. The CHAS program that INI offers can find you those local partners. We have already found quite a number of distributors in the marketplace which would be relevant, worthy of consideration. Invest in Northern Ireland can share that information with you. And if you wanted to reach out to a marketplace where Chinese, Mandarin Chinese is spoken, but also there is a reasonable degree of English spoken. Remember, Taiwan is very much America looking. It tends not to look to the UK, but nonetheless English is spoken by many business people. The TAS program can also offer you support in approaching those potential market players for you and actually arranging appointments either virtually or in person to try and facilitate that partnership. Again, the marketplace is different to ours. Culture is very different. It's a combination of China meets Japan. So that's why it's important to understand how the market operates. And that's why the only way to this marketplace is going to be through partners and distributors. So we very much strongly recommend you enter Taiwan through local partnerships. And agents and distributors are a well-established model for entering the market. As we thought from the earlier slide, Taiwan is an untapped market for UK companies. It has great growth potential given our very low market share there, and we strongly recommend that you consider that market. Thank you very much, and we look forward to welcoming you to Taiwan. And remember, the first port of call is to go to Invest in Northern Ireland. The Northeast Asia team will be delighted to help you. And we, as their partners, delivery partners in markets, are ready to serve you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.